Hey there, guys. Welcome back to our channel for another adventure. I hope you're ready to buckle up, because tonight, we're taking a journey into the darkest, eeriest, and most bone-chilling night drive horror stories you'll ever hear. These stories are all based on true events that will make your hair stand on end. So, grab your favorite late-night snack, and prepare to be captivated by 3 terrifying and real night drive horror stories that will leave you questioning the safety of the open road. But first, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode of our series. Now, fasten your seatbelts and let's dive right into the darkness. As the sun went down and it got dark, I had to drive on a lonely road in the middle of a big forest. Tall trees were all around, and the moon didn't help much to see. My car lights showed just a bit of the road. I was by myself, and I got scared. I kept looking in my rearview mirror. I felt like somebody was watching me, but I couldn't see anyone. I knew it was just in my head, but I still felt really scared. As I drove, I saw someone up ahead, a person who wanted a ride. He stuck their thumb out, asking for a lift. I knew I wasn't supposed to pick up strangers at night, but I felt bad for him. I thought about what I'd want someone to do for me if I were in his place. I slowed down and stopped by the side of the road. The hitchhiker came to my car, and I unlocked the door. He got in without saying anything, wearing a jacket with a hood that hid their face. "Thanks for stopping," he whispered. I took a quick look, and his hands were dirty with scars. I couldn't see his face under the hood, and that made me uneasy. "Where are you going?" I asked, trying to talk with him. "Anywhere but here," he said, but it didn't really tell me much. We drove in silence, and the road was the only thing making noise. I kept looking at the hitchhiker, but I couldn't see his face. My heart raced as I thought about all the scary things that could happen. After a long time, I saw a sign for a gas station up ahead. I felt relieved and pulled in there. I needed to get out, stretch my legs, and maybe buy something to calm down. I parked, but the hitchhiker stayed in the car. He didn't move. I turned to him, feeling more and more uneasy. "I'm going to grab something inside. Do you want anything?" I asked, my voice shaking. "No, I'm fine," he said. Something about the answer gave me the creeps. But I went inside the gas station, looking back at my strange passenger. Inside, the lights were really bright, and there were lots of things on the shelves. I tried to forget about the weird hitchhiker, telling myself it was just my nerves. When I went to pay, I couldn't help but ask the cashier about the hitchhiker. I told them about the strange stuff and how it scared me. The cashier looked serious and said, "You're not the first one to pick up that hitchhiker. People say strange things happen when you ride with them." My heart dropped, and I started sweating. I paid quickly and rushed back to the car. But the hitchhiker was gone. The door was still open, but the seat was empty. I was panicking and looking around, but the hitchhiker was nowhere to be seen. Then I felt something behind me and turned around to see the hitchhiker standing a few feet away. Their hood had fallen down, showing a face with scars and a creepy grin. I stumbled back and fell to the ground in fear. The hitchhiker came closer, their eyes glowing in a scary way. It was a look that made me really scared, and I knew I had to get away. I got up and ran into the gas station, locking the door behind me. I told the cashier what happened, and he called the police. I stayed in the corner, hoping the police would come soon. When the police arrived, they couldn't find the hitchhiker. It was like he had disappeared. I told them everything, but they didn't seem to believe me. I left the gas station that night, feeling really scared. I promised myself I'd never pick up a hitchhiker again, but I couldn't forget that night. It haunted my dreams for a long time, a reminder that sometimes the dark hides more than we can imagine. The rain was heavy, making it tough to see out of my car. I was on a road I didn't know, surrounded by a dark forest. The clock in my car said it was 2:47 a.m., and all I could see was the rain outside. I had taken a wrong turn and was now in the middle of nowhere. My GPS had lost signal, and the only sound I could hear was the rain hitting the car. My car's lights didn't do much to cut through the darkness. I couldn't see any road signs or anything familiar. I felt all alone in a world that was empty. As time passed, I got more and more anxious. I needed shelter from the rain, but I couldn't find any buildings. The rain kept coming, and it felt like the night would never end. I had heard stories about how night drives can be scary, but I didn't know how scary it could get. Then, I saw a small light in the distance. I was hopeful it could be a place to stay. As I got closer, I saw it was an old, rundown motel called the Moonlit Inn. I parked my car and went inside the motel. The lobby was dimly lit and smelled old. I rang the bell at the front desk, but no one came. I called out, but no one answered. Still, the vacancy sign in the window made me feel like it was my only choice. I walked down a dark hallway with flickering lights. The rooms were old and worn down. I picked room 13 and went in. The room was just as old as the rest of the motel. I tried to warm up the room, but it was still chilly. I lay down on the creaky bed and fell asleep. In the middle of the night, I woke up to a strange sound. A whispering voice filled the room. I couldn't understand what it was saying, and it scared me. I looked around, but no one was there. The voice got louder and scarier, like something I couldn't explain. I tried to leave the room, but the door was stuck. I couldn't get it open, no matter how hard I tried. The voice in the room got louder, and it felt like it was making fun of me. I went to the window, thinking I could escape that way. I was about to jump when the lights in the room flickered and turned off. I was in the dark, trapped with the scary voice. The walls felt like they were closing in on me. I was terrified and wished for the storm to stop and the sun to come up. Until then, I was stuck in the moonlit inn with the scary voice that haunted me. I was driving late at night on a dark, empty road. The rain was pouring down hard, making it tough to see. I was all alone, with just the sound of the car and the radio. It was well past midnight, and I had a long way to go before I could rest. I usually like driving at night, but this time, it turned into a scary and unforgettable journey. The road ahead seemed endless, and my car's headlights were the only things lighting up the way. Everything else was just darkness. I could barely make out road signs and trees as they appeared and disappeared. It felt like I was the only person left on Earth, driving through a world that had been abandoned. As I kept driving, something strange caught my eye. There was a faint, flickering light up ahead. It looked like an old, rundown gas station. I decided to check it out, even though it seemed creepy. When I pulled into the gas station, I got an eerie feeling. It looked like it hadn't been used in years. The pumps were rusty, and the sign that said, "Open 24/7, looked like it was about to fall. I parked my car, the only one there, and turned off the engine. The silence was heavy, and the air inside the convenience store was musty and old. I walked into the store and saw an old, flickering TV. It was playing static, and there was a hand-drawn smiley face on the screen. I felt like someone was watching me, but I couldn't see anyone. Then, a creepy giggle came from the TV, and it suddenly turned off. I was scared and wanted to leave. I reached for the door, but it wouldn't open. It was like something was keeping me inside. The giggle got louder, and I felt like the gas station was closing in on me. I ran out to my car and drove away as fast as I could, leaving the strange place behind. Back on the highway, I still felt like I was being watched. The giggle echoed in my mind, and I couldn't explain what had happened. I tried to tell myself it was my imagination, but deep down, I knew something was wrong. Up ahead, I saw a figure in the road, lit up by my headlights. I slammed on the brakes just in time. It was a girl in a torn dress, with empty eyes. I asked if she needed help, but she didn't answer. When she touched me, I felt a freezing chill and fell back. More figures appeared, their eyes empty, and they had creepy smiles on their faces. I ran back to my car and sped away, leaving them behind. As I drove through the night, I couldn't shake the fear. What had happened at that gas station? And who were those terrifying figures? I had no answers, just the scary memories of that night drive, the journey into the unknown that I would never forget.